When it comes to psychological horror, Soma is one of the few games I've experienced that takes a profound and ambitious approach to themes such as identity and humanity. I was actually really shocked at how this game subverted my expectations and gave a very compelling and thought-provoking narrative. This game comes from Frictional Games, who also created the Amnesia series, and they definitely delivered another amazing and well-paced story that drew me in from start to finish. The story opens as a man named Simon Jarrett agrees to undergo an experimental brain scan as he experiences cranial bleeding after having been in a car accident. During the procedure, he seemingly blacks out and awakens within a cold and abandoned underwater facility. At first, the story is very unclear, but as time goes on, Simon soon uncovers a very dark and morbid story as he works to continue a long-forgotten experiment designed to artificially preserve humanity. He is assisted by a woman named Catherine, who communicates with him through various screens and serves as his only companion, as the rest of the crew have either died horribly or met other terrible fates. I feel like this game is best played if you don't know much about the story, so I will be brief. The game definitely has an eerie Bioshock vibe, but unlike Bioshock, Soma focuses on stealth and survival horror. At various points in the game, you encounter several mechanical monstrosities that are out to get you. Simon has no means of self-defense, so he will have to rely on moving quietly or throwing objects to distract enemies. These moments are actually really tense, especially towards the end of the game, when you fear that a narrow hallway could ultimately lead to a dead end. Usually, you will die if you are caught twice by an enemy, but there is a lower difficulty setting that prevents enemies from killing you outside of scripted events. I have no idea why you would want to enable easy mode since it just feels like it's not the intended way to play. It just removes all tension, so I would recommend playing on a higher difficulty to get the full experience. Not to mention, Soma has one of the most intense death screens I have ever seen. Take a look at this. Yeah. The enemies are all unique and require different strategies in order to avoid. Some are attracted to noise, and there's one that can outrun you if you try to flee. This makes nearly every interaction feel somewhat different, and I really like that. The experience is somewhat scary, and you can tell that Frictional really tries their best to build tension with screen distortions and loud noises, but sometimes I think the monsters are a bit overdone at times. They really don't have much agency in the story, but they do add a welcome change of pace when needed, and I have to give credit that they don't often rely on predictable jump scares. When you aren't chased by robots, you will have to solve various computer puzzles that aren't too hard, but I still felt rewarded as I made progress, so the game as a whole is well balanced. One thing that's important to note is that the game doesn't hold your hand and often leaves you to figure things out for yourself. There's a good balance of slightly vague and straightforward enough to not become frustrating. Well, navigating the ocean to get to the next station is a bit annoying since it's dark and leads to a lot of unintentional backtracking, but other than that, there really isn't that much I dislike about it. The experience is about 6 hours and provides a fair amount of content given the price. I would strongly recommend it to fans of psychological horror, and on a personal note, I suggest that you play on either PS4 or Xbox, since I had a hell of a time trying to get it to run on Steam, and I know a lot of other people have too. While it was annoying to download it twice, I was definitely satisfied with it, and I would say it's worth a try. It's a frightening and very atmospheric game that I will gladly descend to many times in the future.